Hello everyone, I am Damien. We are Megacephalus and welcome to our presentation.
What is knowledge? Something that is true, justifiable, and we believe in it? Many will agree, but Edmund Gettier, a philosopher, will beg to differ. Here I present you an example of the Gettier case. Imagine I'm the captain of a ship. I believe we are sailing towards the north. My compass is pointing towards the north, and indeed, we are heading towards the north. However, I soon come to realize that my compass is actually broken. So this knowledge of me going towards the north, based on the justification of the compass, was purely coincidental. With the Gettier case in mind, are we truly able to differentiate knowledge from ignorance, truth from opinions? The wild spread of COVID-19 virus has greatly impacted our life in the past 2 years. With large amount of information generated each day, we are not only in a pandemic but also an infodemic. The World Health Organization, WHO, defines infodemic as too much information that is false or misleading in the physical and digital environment during a disease outbreak. People such as the elderly, young ones, and less educated people are most vulnerable to such infodemic. Some of the vehicles aiding in the spread of misinformation include social media, bots, and trolls. In social media, when a user clicks on one piece of misinformation, the algorithm will recommend more of such misinformation. This makes the user subconsciously think that this piece of information is real because it keeps appearing. So what are some of the reasons that people believe in such misinformation? Psychologically, prior exposure can influence our judgment of the truth. This is also known as the illusory truth effect, whereby we tend to believe in fake news after repeated exposure. News that are novel, with credible sources, and emotionally evocative headlines are more likely to draw people's attention, instructing them to rely on their emotions instead and increase belief in such fake information. This is especially evident in the pandemic, whereby new information about the viruses emerge daily and the fear for the virus is rampant. Politically, humans tend to engage in identity protective cognition when faced with politically valence content. We tend to overbelieve in content that is consistent with our partisan identity and are overly skeptical over contents that are inconsistent with our partisan identity. Health literacy is another major concern. With limited information on the new virus, it will be very difficult for many of us to discern true information from false information. With reference to UNESCO's pamphlet on deciphering COVID-19 disinformation, we have identified two major misinformation issues that are very common in Singapore. Firstly, the origins and spread of the virus. There have been conspiracy theories that blame other causes, for example, the 5G network for the pandemic. Labels such as Chinese virus instead of neutral terminology inflates location into an adjective. Such pieces of information induces fear, which can further bring about emotions such as discrimination. With preceding examples such as the naming of Spanish flu and Jewish communities being victimized during the Black Death, we humans did not seem to have learned our lessons. Secondly, in medical sciences, such as symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment. Examples include drinking or gargling cow urine, hot water, salt water to prevent infection from reaching the lungs. This information can cause clueless people to ingest harmful products and even shy people away from proven treatments, which can have an immediate effect on everyone and the society. After understanding more about the COVID-19 infodemic, what if we can label all the information that we take in daily, just like how we label all the nutrition in a chocolate bar?
Therefore, we present falsify. Have you ever wondered what you would do with such an article, whether it is false, an opinion, or truth? Falsify empowers you with this knowledge. As a web extension, claims are automatically analyzed and notifies the user with friendly interface as shown. Here, the number of claims detected is displayed on the top panel, while the types of claims are categorized as such. Furthermore, upon clicking the category, another interface is displayed. Here, further explanations that were automatically generated, as well as trusted sources used in the analysis. So, how are all of this done? Falsify is based on BERT, a natural language processing deep learning algorithm adapted from Transformers neural networks. Compared to other NLP algorithms, BERT can analyze text at greater speeds and has a unique ability to account for contextual information within text. For example, BERT can consider that the word bark can mean a dog's bark or a tree bark in different contexts. For the algorithm to read text, the texts are first pre-processed in 3 steps. Sentences are broken up into words known as tokenization. These words are then converted into codes through token embedding. In the last step, BERT performs bidirectional encoding, therefore preserving its contextual information. BERT can use different texts as inputs and preprocess them to generate 3 different contents: the label, the explanation, and the trusted sources. Firstly, for label generation, BERT uses claim evidence pair from an article as an input, which is then preprocessed. The patterns of the encoded claim evidence pair is compared with that of our databases. The database consists of peer-reviewed journals, government reports, fact-check databases, and opinion articles. Here, BERT will analyze text patterns and classify the input text accordingly: truth, mixture, opinion, false, and inconclusive. Next, to generate the selected trusted sources and explanation, BERT uses claims from the articles and sentences from database as inputs. After the inputs are preprocessed, pre-trained BERT model will extract the top 5 most important sentences. Since some of the sentences are from technical sources, such as peer-reviewed journals, BERT will extract important words from these sentences and generate a paraphrased and easy-to-understand explanation for the layman. The sentences are also mapped back to their sources and compiled for the Trusted Sources panel. In summary, Falsifier uses BERT to generate three contents: the label, the explanation, and the trusted sources, which are then put together to create a user-friendly interface. From here, these Falsify-generated outputs can be extracted and stored in a repository. The big data repository can be analyzed for other meaningful purposes. For example, with its respective categories of claims, false claims can be first targeted. Ranked by frequency, the most frequent claim can be extracted, and its corresponding information can be fed into an API to auto-generate an infographic for education and publicity purposes. In summary, Falsify achieves 7 objectives. Firstly, fact labels. Through the integrated and automated fact labeling procedures, we present a comprehensive label for users. Next, reader-friendly. By using extractive explanation generator, we seek to achieve a friendly platform for the layman. Then provide transparency for our methods through accessible compilation of authoritative sources that were used in the analysis. Education. Through the automated graphics, we plan to re-educate the public to increase medical literacy. Freedom of speech. Whilst constructing Falsify, we adhere strictly to the UNESCO human rights context, where it is every person's right to seek, receive, and impart information by not manipulating information sharing, but only seek to inform users about the contents. Next, speed. A typical manual fact labeling process takes about a day to perform 3 fact checks per person. With our tech-based automation, we provide seamless pipeline from the claims detection to the graphics generation in a matter of minutes, keeping up with the speed of technology-enabled information spreading. Lastly, to achieve ubiquity, by first providing web extension, we aim to achieve pervasive use of Falsify through every platform for information spreading.
Information collected through Falsify can be provided to the government to produce relevant policies, such as educational campaigns or misinformation laws or policies. Despite their low internet usage and less exposure to misinformation online, elderly populations may still be susceptible to misinformation through word of mouth. Hence, our team aims to maximize the usage of infographics generated by Falsify to educate the elderlies. These infographics will be distributed through media outlets that are commonly accessed by elderlies, such as TV, radio, and print media, to prevent the spread of misinformation in Singapore.
So how do we monitor the effectiveness of Falsify? Our team has come up with both a quantitative and qualitative method. Firstly, the impact of Falsify can be measured objectively using quantitative data. Using our repository, we are able to obtain information on the efficacy of a claim that was being labeled. Here, the rate of decrease of shares or spread in the verified claim should be greater than that of those that will not intervene. However, as mentioned previously, due to psychological aspect of sharing information, internet users may continue to share information with friends and family despite knowing that this information is inaccurate. Therefore, solely monitoring the numbers of shares of claims would underestimate the impact of Falsify. In fact, the main objective of Falsify is to raise awareness of internet users on the accuracy of the content that they are consuming. With this in mind, a periodic survey will be distributed to internet users prior to the use of Falsify, and after 3 or 6 months, through this survey, we can better evaluate the impact of Falsify on the users as well as their attitude towards Falsify.
As with all ambitious ventures, Falsify will be faced with a few limitations and challenges. One main limitation of Falsify is inherent in its format as a Google extension, which restricts the use of Falsify to websites only. This limits the size of the target audience as a large number of people share news on various social media platforms. Therefore, our team aims to expand the use of Falsify by incorporating it into social media websites such as Instagram and Facebook. Unsurprisingly, a main challenge that we will have to overcome is to seek and convince social media companies to adopt Falsify. In order to do so, Falsify must first prove itself as a rapid, robust, and reliable tool. To achieve this goal, we have incorporated the key activities involved in the development of Falsify into a succinct timeline.
Our timeline begins with the creation of the Google extension algorithm. This is followed by algorithm testing and optimization, with potential partnerships such as Google and Amazon. After the launch of the Google extension, periodic reviews will be conducted to assess and improve the effectiveness and user receptivity towards Falsify. Following which, our long-term objective in making Falsify a widely used tool will be realized by expanding and incorporating Falsify into social media platforms. In the long term, Falsify will largely run independently with minimal human input, making Falsify sustainable both in terms of human capital and economically. As seen in the budget breakdown, most of the budget is allocated to the research and developmental stage, followed by marketing and public relations to promote the adoption and usage of Falsify.
In this COVID-19 pandemic, the spread of the virus is not our sole concern. The spread of misinformation is also a crucial aspect of this pandemic. With serious impact on human health and society as a whole, the spread of misinformation must be curbed. Falsify aims to be a rapid, robust, and reliable tool to educate and increase the awareness of internet users about the content that they are consuming and sharing. Falsify is the ideal solution to tackle the rampant COVID-19 infodemic.
Thank you for your time. This is Megacephalus signing off.